Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Welcome everyone to the Bronx Sports Jedi MMA Weekly with Austin and Chef Dan. I am Austin and my co-host is Chef Dan. How you doing tonight, Chef Dan?
Salute to you, Austin. Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to everyone joining us amongst all podcast platforms, whether that be in Spotify, whether that be Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're joining us. Thank you so much. I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Doing all right. Just got the sniffles. That's all. So my apology if you hear my nose during this whole broadcast, but we'll make it through. So yeah, besides the sniffles, and we get some fine.
So let's get right into it, man. Or what card do you want to break down first?
Let's recap UFC.
All right. Right into UFC 272, Covington versus Masvidal. You want to get right into the main event, or you want to start from the first fight of the card? Let's get right into the main event.
Yes.
Let's get right into the meat and the potatoes. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal in the welterweight division. Colby Covington wins the fight. All five judges judging for him, unanimous. And Colby Covington moves on to 17-3. Jorge Masvidal, he falls to 35-16. And this was, if you're a Masvidal fan like I am, this was a bad fight for him completely. Colby Covington dominated this fight. Masvidal had some moments here and there, but all in all, Covington won it really with the wrestling and just keeping Masvidal pinned in certain positions and executing with ground and pound and strikes and the submission attempts. That was the majority of the fight right there. Monsvado was swinging wildly. I think he took too much emotion into this fight. He really did take too much emotion into this fight, and I saw it from not really the flying knee. Monsvado is a bit of a prankster, a jokester like that. The flying knee was one thing, but kind of getting into the fight, looking at the strikes, his right hand, whenever he threw the money shot, it's just, he threw it from, like, you saw it coming from last week. It was something that, it didn't make any sense, and he never really changed up his striking into, any elbows, things of that nature. And like he said after the fight, his wrestling was completely flat. He did not have any defense for Colby's wrestling like that. He accepted a lot of positions and kind of didn't explode when he needed to get out of certain positions. All in all, it was a bad fight for Masvidal. Colby Covington dominated this fight. He stays the number one contender. And, man. I don't want to sound biased being a Masvidal fan, but this wasn't an exciting fight. What were your thoughts?
Okay, I'll take from here. Well, I'm not too surprised by this result. Like, I'm not surprised. I think I was the only one here that picked Colby to win the fight, and I kind of have a feeling that it was going to be like this because Colby's wrestling, we all know, is elite. I mean, he's one of the best wrestlers in the not just in the 170 division, but probably all of MMA. It's a debate for another day we can have about that. But yeah, I'm not surprised because I feel like Colby's, great wrestler. Jorge's wrestling defense. It's gotten better in some fights, but it's historically not. I mean, it's hard to take down, but with Jorge, if you're able to constantly take him down, I feel like you can get to him. And that also conditioning. I mentioned that conditioning was going to play a big part in this fight, and we all know Colby has elite conditioning, and Jorge got tired, especially at that second round. If you're not sure if you saw it, like after the second round, Jorge looked gassed. I'm not sure if you noticed it or was the only one that noticed that.
I didn't. The difference to me wasn't really in the second round. I saw it in the beginning of the third round. At the end of the third, going into the fourth. Yeah,
and right, and Colby was able to get Jorge somewhat tired to where Jorge couldn't do much. And I mean, even if you remember the fourth round, Jorge catches Colby with a right hook that drops him momentarily and gets up, but Jorge was didn't have the energy to really push the pace and try to land more bombs on Colby Covington. And that was allowed Colby to survive and be able to take him down in the fourth round. If I'm mistaken, like a minute after that, he got dropped. And another thing that was kind of surprising, is that Colby landed a lot of punches on Jorge, especially a lot of left hooks and a lot of lefts that got Jorge. If you notice that fight, I mean, he not only was he dominating the wrestling, but he was able to land a decent amount of strikes on Jorge Masvidal, who's the better striker, which was kind of shocking, but I think the wrestling had a lot to do with it getting Jorge tired.
That's really, it wasn't. Here's the thing. That's why I felt that Jorge's emotion coming into the fight, like I know he's not gonna let it on, but like you saw it in the body language. Even though he was throwing that right hand, and you saw every time he threw it, you knew it was coming, and that was the only thing he stuck to. Was like 1-2, possibly throwing out the left 1-1-2, but he just kept throwing the right hand, and it was just from all the way back here. Even like in the earlier rounds, even though he was still doing that, I felt like he had the edge on Colby in the striking. It's just that Colby knew to change levels, and Jorge did not defend it well at all. And so coming down later on down the stretch, Jorge's hands are now down, and that allows Colby to come up with, more striking advantage. And that's how he gets, the striking advantage all in all. But I thought in the beginning of the fight, Jorge still had the advantage a little bit. He just was not composed.
He wasn't composed, but he was not composed. Even early on, Colby was landing a decent amount of strikes. And a lot like you mentioned, had to do him not being composed and Colby pressuring him, which is one thing Colby's really good at, is putting pressure on fighters. And he was play Jorge Masvidal and be able to dominate him in this fight. Now, I didn't think the fight was super boring personally. That wasn't super exciting, no, but I didn't think it was like boring either, because it has moments
it had sorry for cutting you off.
Right.
I was saying, like, it had its moments. I wouldn't say it was a snore fest. It wasn't. It was just like the build up coming to the fight. I think that for what it was, it kind of wasn't. It wasn't what everyone was expecting.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You wanted more because of the build up, the rivalry, and the hatred they have towards each other. I get what you mean there.
Most definitely.
And
go ahead.
I say but great performance by Colby Covington to really solidify himself, just to keep himself as the number one contender in the welterweight division. And like I said, great dominate Jorge from beginning and even after the fifth round, he didn't look that tired. I mean, he looked like he can still go in there a couple more rounds.
Most definitely, it was. I agree with you 100%. Colby had the better gas tank, and Davar, salute to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. You asked, is Masvidal done? What would be next for him? He's not done in the division, but it's looking shaky for him right now, and he does need to, he has to climb back up into the rankings, and he needs to get a win. Not only that, but if he does have serious aspirations to get into the title, title contention, he's gonna have to go through Colby one more time. That fight is gonna have to be there. Either that, or he's gonna fight some wrestlers in the division. So he's either got to get better with the wrestling defense, or he may have to move to another division.
No, you're right about that. That if he's gonna have to work on his wrestling defense or move to another division, if he wants their chance at the title, well, that's gonna be hard because he lost to Usman twice as well. You also gotta hope that Usman loses eventually the championship to somebody. But go ahead.
But see, here's the thing. I kind of don't. I don't know if I can count the first Usman loss as as even a contest, because that's on short notice, taking the weight, and then we all saw the fight. It seemed like both of those guys kind of made an agreement, like we're both gonna agree not to take too much damage from from each other, because we are gonna meet up again, and so like that's weird, like because Usman could have done way worse to Masvidal, but he decided to just press him up against the cage and stomp on his toes. Kind of felt like they just, said, hey, this isn't the real fight right now. We both know where the real fight's going to be. And that's where Kamaru definitely got Masvidal. Mama Stays, salute to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. But
probably before we move on, I just want to finish to answer the question. Definitely work is he's gonna fight some guys who aren't like heavy wrestling attacks. Jorge probably would be those guys. If not, I don't know if he's gonna get back to the title fight. If he's trying to fight for the title again.
So now, speaking to the other side, is a big question looming, because Colby Covington did call out Dustin Poirier. I want to ask you, Austin, do you see Dustin Poirier moving up to take on Colby Covington?
Part of me says yes, part of me says no. No, because Dustin kind of like mentioned fight some welterweight contenders, and Dustin responded. But however, my thing is Dustin's mentioned that he wants to go up in weights at 170, and if you fight Colby Covington, you beat Colby Covington, you're gonna get a title fight. If you think about that. And also, why wouldn't you fight Covington? It's kind of ridiculous not to fight him, especially everything Covington said about you, and some things he called he's called Dustin Poirier, and mentioned about his wife and etc. And also, he talked about, well, if I'm not gonna fight in an octagon, I'm gonna fight him in the streets, and about one of us going to jail, which is kind of stupid in my opinion to say something like that when you can fight him and get paid for it and not go to jail for it. Especially after he's being, your friend Jorge Masvidal. Why not try to get revenge, the loss, your friend Jorge Masvidal's loss, or even your GM American Top Team. I don't know why. I think Dustin should take the fight personally. That's why.
So where do you see him not taking the fight?
Because I don't know. He's talked about wanting to fight Nate Diaz. Him and Nate seem like they want to fight each other, but the UFC hasn't made it official. And then also, he's talked about, you mentioned the Colby go fight welterweight contenders, but he's talked about moving up to 170. So it's like, if you're gonna move up to 170, why not fight the guy you have beef with, get revenge for all the things he said about you, and then possibly you beat him, you fight for a world title, unless he knows what I believe, and this is my opinion, what I'm about to say. This is my opinion. He can't beat Colby. Because I think Colby beats Dustin personally. They fight.
I could care less about any of that. This is opportunity. I'm here to give a definitive answer, and that's yes. I see Dustin Poirier moving up for all the reasons you named. There's a whole list of reasons, like, like usually people when they look for something to do, 9 times out of 10 you can say someone could ask, give me a reason not to do something. I see absolutely no reason for Dustin Poirier not to take this fight. There's no reason at all. If it's about contract, if you think that the UFC isn't going to pay you enough for this fight, this, that, whatever, that's out of the window. That doesn't even matter. Because look, I'm going to tell you, these are all the opportunities here, like you laid out. Colby Covington, #1 contender in the welterweight division. You're talking about a golden ticket. That's like going to the candy store and knowing which Willy Wonka bar to get, because for sure it ain't got one, it's got 2 golden tickets in there.
Yep.
Not only that, if you do the move up and you instantly move into contendership, you are taken as a serious threat no matter what. If let's say he even loses the fight, coming off of a loss to Colby Covington, where does that put you in the ranking in the welterweight? We don't know, but guess what? You're probably going to have a crack to at least go for number 2, 3, 4, or 5, because you're still Dustin Poirier, a big money ticket item. It's like, it makes no sense to not take the fight. And then here's the additional side. Just like Masvidal said it for this fight, and we, me and the Jedi, we called it on the fight after the fight, how he still wanted to, have some words and try and get a swing off on Colby. You had your chance with 25 minutes. This is your chance with 25 minutes to do almost whatever you want with him. You can't knee him while both his hands, while his hands are down on the mat. You can't knee him in the face, but you could possibly get an uppercut off while you're holding his head. You could do a lot of violent things to him. You could, there's the possibility for a lot of violent things to happen in that octagon, and you have the opportunity to do so. And not only that, for this man to disrespect your wife and your kids, man, and not only that, it would be a favor to Jorge Masvidal. If you were to do this, and then right after that, you bring Masvidal into the ring and y'all celebrate this, man, Colby would be so peeved off. That might spark another fight between Masvidal and Colby again. So now you're making money for your boy again. There are endless possibilities here. Dustin, if this video ever happens to make it his way, luckily to us, the video makes it his way. This is the golden ticket. This is golden ticket to the factory. Not only that, within the golden ticket, it's going to give you instructions on what to do when listening to Mr. Wonka, because 10 times out of 10, if you execute here, you're getting the factory. You're getting the factory.
You're right, exactly. And especially also you get Avenge American Top Team, your gym, considering Colby, the beef happened and Colby leaving, and some people American Top Team wanted Colby to lose. I agree with that comment there, but what?
I mean, I know you want to take it on a respect angle or things of that nature, but let's just look at it from just an opportunity. Like, look at it selfishly. Before you try and do it for the gym or nobly, just look at it selfishly. Because the first time Conor was respectful and everything, the second time he was quite disrespectful with your wife. And I don't know if Conor spoke about his kids. I don't think so.
Did. No, just
he never did. He just took it. Your wife was in me DMs. That's what he said at this, that, whatever. And you saw what he did there. And this guy, oh man, it ain't even at this point, man. Win, lose, or draw. If you have a methodical plan to say, hey, I just want to inflict as much damage as possible on this guy, and yeah, my emotions are in it, but I'm coming at it from a killer's perspective, and this is how I'm gonna surgically take care of this guy. We have ourselves a fight, ladies and gentlemen. These are the reasons why you do it. I got 1,000,001 reasons why you take this fight, Dustin Poirier. And this is on a golden platter because he called your name.
Yes, and especially
he threw the rock through your window. And now he's on your front porch, pants down, squatted over, taking a you-know-what on your lawn in front of the world to see and trying to take a claim on your property. It's your time, baby. It's your time to take this fight. Ooh, take this fight.
You're right. You gotta take it. I mean, it's not a good look to say I'm gonna fight in the parking lot, fighting outside, possibly go to jail when you can make money fighting him where you won't go to jail. You can damage him and hurt him. You can embarrass him, and show him up while being away from your family. I mean, come on, Dustin. Especially since you want to go up to 170 in Colby's weight class. Especially, why not do it? Go up to 170 and beat up Colby Covington and possibly get another title fight.
Man, I'm saying, it's a golden opportunity. It's a golden opportunity. Gotta take advantage of it. And he called your name. You didn't call him. He called your name.
Right, exactly. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Long live Street Jesus. I'm still with them. Let's go.
Gotcha. And Colby Covington, hopefully people start giving him his flowers for how good a fighter he is, because I think sometimes people don't do that enough. I think people just look at the persona and sometimes don't recognize the talent that is Colby Covington, the fighter. So hopefully people do that as well. But we can move on to the co-main event, which is Rafael dos Anjos against Hinata Monkano. And Rafael dos Anjos defeats Monkano via unanimous decision, including a 49-44 on one judge's scorecard, a 50-44 another judge's scorecard, and 49-45. This was dominant. This was dominant as you can get while finishing a guy. RDA just picked him apart. Just beat him up for 5 rounds. Now, you can make an argument the fight probably should have stopped after the 3rd round. And by his corner more so, because the referee Mark Gard did a good job. After the 4th round, he brought the doctor to check on Monkano, and basically told Monkano, if you don't put yourself in a better position beginning of the 5th round, he's gonna stop the fight. So Mark Gard, the referee, deserves a shout for what he did, but it seemed like this fight, it was the corner probably should have done a better job in protecting their fighters, saying to fight another day. Arguably, considering how much damage he was taking against RDA, how RDA just like I said, dominated him, beat him up, and that he didn't get the finish, but it was just a beatdown from pillar to post.
I saw a completely different fight from you, but I agree with what you're like. Before I say what I saw, I want to say I agree with what you stated right there. Everything you said, I have a part of me agrees with it and what you're saying, but I saw a completely different fight. I did see a dominant fight with Rafael dos Anjos all through 1 through 4, rounds 1 through 4. He was dominating Renato Moicano. Catch weight, you saw Rafael dos Anjos was prepared for physique. He was really prepared for physique, and you saw it even in that 3rd round ground and pound where Renato Moicano, he was taking some heavy damage against dos Anjos, and it was getting really, really bad. And I could agree with you to a certain point. Referee should have maybe stopped the fight, but if
what's the corner?
Yeah, the referee or maybe even the corner. But if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have seen the 5th round that we saw from Renato Moicano. And that 5th round was magic. And that type of round, if they throw the towel in and we don't see that round from him, that doesn't get him his next opportunity. And I promise you, the next opportunity, or even the opportunity after that, if he wins it, it's probably not going to make sense to a lot of people. But I guarantee you this, he earned that, because that 5th round was magic for Renato Moicano. He came out of there bloody, battered, bruised, and put up the greatest fight he possibly could. And to me personally, I think he took the 5th round. I think he even started to come on in the 4th round after Dos Anjos started to show a little gas in the 4th. Later on in the 4th round, he started to show some more fight in the 4th round. And in the 5th round, I think he took it completely. He just catching Rafael with the jab, just consistently catching him with the jab. And when Rafael caught on to the jab, boom, throwing the overhand, catching him with that too, keeping it to strikes strictly. And he knew that was his only chance to possibly even finish Rafael Dos Anjos. But he did it anyways, going to striking. And when Rafael Dos Anjos saw that it was a possibility that, hey, this guy could even win the fight, he took him down and just controlled him from grappling right there. And that's how he went on to win the fight. But Renato Moicano, man, it was a magical 5th round, and I think that did wonders for his career.
That 5th round, I mean, that's a good point about the 5th round. 5th round, he did have a lot of success and landed a lot of shots that stunned RDA. Now, some have said maybe RDA, they feel like RDA took it easy in the 5th round, was showing mercy to Moicano. I don't know about maybe, I don't know personally, but Moicano, give him credit, he did show hard. He was still trying to win. He did land some shots. Definitely, that part was pretty inspirational and cool to see. That was. I'll give you that.
I don't think anyone takes mercy on anyone in the octagon, knowing how wrong things could go in there and knowing the amount of adrenaline rush that a fighter has. Not only that, but Rafael Dos Anjos is most definitely a veteran of the game, and he's not going to cheat the game like that, so I don't think he was taking it easy at all. If anything, Renato Moicano, man, he just bloodied and battered. I think Rafael I think he thought he had it in the bag, and that Renato didn't have the power that he had coming into that 5th round. And that's why he had to respect it with the takedown. But all in all, he was catching Dos Anjos, and Dos Anjos tried dodging some of those punches and even striking back. But Renato, he took some punishment and delivered it right back. And he was kind of doing that all throughout the fight. It's just that Rafael Dos Anjos was just a better conditioned athlete for that fight. And that was my takeaway.
Gotcha. Okay, and either way, this was a great performance for Dos Anjos. First time he's fought in 16 months, he said. So it's been a while since we've seen Dos Anjos. Great to see him back, and hopefully him and Fiziev can fight later on this year. That's a fight we definitely want to see, the battle of Rafaels. And Moicano, hopefully Moicano can take from this and grow and come back as a better fighter. And hopefully he can use his experience to continue having a great career as well. Hopefully he didn't take too much damage in this fight.
I don't want to liken it to kind of this guy because he didn't provide the same type of fight, but he did show the heart versus Sugar Sean, Chris, what's his name? Chris
Moicano?
Yes, Chris Moicano. Like he also showed a lot of heart, and that's a guy that everyone is like, hey, he should at least get another chance in the UFC. It's just that he took so much damage that he's recovering right now, and so we haven't seen him for a while. But you gotta hope that with Renato Moicano, I hope I can see him again.
Same.
And so with that, we can move on to this next fight, man. This fight here, I got issues with this fight, man. I really do.
Go ahead.
I got issues with it. Bryce Mitchell, Bryce Mitchell versus Edson Barboza in the featherweight division. This goes to the judges for, it was a unanimous decision. Bryce Mitchell won the fight. He moves on to 15-0, while Edson Barboza he's knocked down to 22-11. And Bryce Mitchell, man, he was completely dominant in this fight. He was completely dominant in this fight. I was hoping for Edson Barboza to show a little more, but he just couldn't do anything with Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell, with the striking game, he was able to block a lot of Edson Barboza's kicks. Barboza was getting out of character somehow later on in the rounds because Bryce Mitchell just kept with a consistent pressure along with his striking. He was very impressive with his striking. It wasn't, the cleanest striking, but he was patient. He got the job done, and whenever he got to his target, it's then switching to the ground, and he took Edson Barboza down whenever he wanted to, and whether it was ground and pound or submission attempts, he was just dominant. It was just a complete dominant performance for Bryce Mitchell. You can similarly equate this to what Colby Covington did with Jorge Masvidal. This was a dominant performance. Both of these two put on dominant performances. And so now Bryce Mitchell, he moves up in the division. He is now number 9. He's now top 10 in the featherweight division. And the reason why this fight aggravates me is because we only saw Bryce Mitchell once last year, and he did the same thing. And
well, I only fought last year.
He fought the year. So then this guy is fighting every year and a half, 2 years. And what do you want to do? What do you want from the sport? What do you want from the UFC? Bryce Mitchell, I need to know. What do you want? Do you want to be the featherweight champion? Because if you do, you got to be more active. You got to be more active. UFC puts on how many shows a year? How many contenders are in that division? I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe I'm taking my pound of flesh before you are, but you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta get into this. Look, you have Brian Ortega in the division. You have Yair Rodriguez in the division. You have the Korean Zombie in the division. Calvin Kattar just came off of an impressive performance, and he is still looking to rise in the division. He still wants to perform some more. Josh Emmett, he wants to perform some more. Arnold Allen, he just recently lost, but he's looking to perform some more. Giga Chikadze, he's not sitting still. We know he's not going to sit still. He's going to recuperate, come back, and try and do some more damage. What do you want from this division? What do you want from the UFC? What do you want from us, the fans, who are investing in you? Because if you're going to be this inactive and tell us you want to have these title aspirations, I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And once again, I'm going to refer to it. How many cards a year do the UFC put on?
A lot. At least 35. At least, probably more.
35?
But more, at least.
Last year was 45.
Last
yes, yeah.
Probably 40. It's closer to 40. 45.
How many? So then 45. All right, so then let's say 45. There's an average of 10 fights on the card. 400. You got 450 cracks at making a name for yourself. What do you want? Let us know. What do you want? Because until then, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing in the hype. It was a great performance, but I don't know. Maybe you're cherry picking. Who knows? Because you're ranked. You're ranked. See, Sean O'Malley has an excuse. He said he wasn't for the pay rate that he was getting. He wasn't, That's the old ranking. He just moved up. He's now number 9. Bryce Mitchell is now top 10 in the featherweight division. So what do you like? Sean O'Malley said for him being unranked, for the pay that he was getting, he's going to continue fighting these unranked fighters. He's going to take his time. He's going to try and find these unranked fighters and fight them. That's what he decided to do. He at least had an excuse. But now that he's ranked, he can't run from the smoke. But Bryce Mitchell, what do you want?
I mean, now my thoughts of the fight. Are you done or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. My thing with the fight is, I give Bryce a lot of credit for dominating Edson Barboza, considering Edson Barboza was ranked. This was probably the best fighter Mitchell's fought. I thought personally, I didn't know this fight would go because I'm thinking, I don't think Bryce has ever fought a fighter as good as Edson. So it was a bait, see how Bryce would do, and Bryce just dominated Edson Barboza. Just outclassed him, took him down, controlled him, dominated him from the beginning to the end of the fight, and do that after not fighting for a while against a guy, Edson Barboza, who actually has success at featherweight despite dropping down weight, is really impressive. It makes me go, dang, Bryce is really good, and hopefully Bryce is more active, which I think he will be this year. Hopefully, like you said, I just want to see more Bryce Mitchell, and I don't blame you. But it seems like featherweight has this weird problem of guys taking time off and not fighting. Because you mentioned Ortega. Let's not forget, Ortega didn't fight for almost 2 years after the Holloway loss. Till what? From December of 2018 till the Korean Zombie fight, which was October 2020. And then, who else? There's another fighter you mentioned. Yair. Yeah, remember Yair didn't fight for a while. And then you got Zabit hasn't fought in a while. Over 2 years. I don't know. It's I don't know what's up with featherweight and guys not fighting for a while. It's like a weird trend.
Here's the crazy part. They all came out and had their reasons. Brian Ortega, after the Holloway, that was a bad beating for him. So now we already know we're not going to see him for a while because he has to heal up. And then all that time healing up, he has to now train, because you're not training while you're healing. You got to spend all that time just kind of sitting around. So now he has to get back up and things of that nature. He's training, he's providing a new skill set, and then he gets right back on the pony. But then you see it. He's like, I want Volkanovski next, and he's immediately trying to get into that fight after the Korean Zombie fight. And we see the fight in less than a year's time. I think in a 9 months time, right? We saw that fight come around.
Yeah, October 2020 beat Zombie, and then it was supposed to be July, but then it got postponed to December of 2021. But yeah.
So then you have that. Calvin Kattar, he disappeared for a while because he got beat by Holloway too. He had to recuperate as well. Like that's especially for the beating that he took. We all knew he needed to recuperate for a while, and we weren't going to see him for a while. Yair Rodriguez, remember it was put out there that I believe he was having an issue with the fight commission because I think of a dirty sample or something like that. No, it wasn't a dirty sample. He hadn't provided a sample as things of that nature. Like you have to do a check-in with the commission, with the fighting commission. And he didn't do the check-in 3 times, and so that was a violation. And so he had his fighting license was suspended for, I believe, for a year. So that's why we didn't see him, and that was his own fault. He has to know as a fighter, or at least have to have the people around him to go, hey, if you're traveling from place to place and you're gonna let the fighting commission know, this is where you are, and maybe you move from one place to another. So when they do a check-in to see if you're here at this place to where you're supposed to be, and you don't get that done, and they give you these chances, and you slip up 3 times, you gotta be cognizant, or gotta at least have people around you to be cognizant of that. And they do it mobily now too, and on the computer. So there are ways to easily do this, and he just had to be better with that. But Yair, he provided a story as to why he hasn't been around. But Bryce Mitchell, man, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he explained it on his Air Horn appearance, like the Monday before, 2 Mondays ago. I think he explained it. I know that. I just don't remember what it was.
I mean, I'm gonna check out the clip to really see, maybe, or I'm gonna read an article to say maybe that lets me know why. But all in all, I just think for the skill set that he has, you gotta want to be active, man. And I don't want to bring up another name of another guy, but not to say like you should follow suit of this guy, but look at a guy like Islam Makhachev. He wants to be active consistently. You look at a guy in Khamzat Chimaev. He wanted to fight in 2 divisions. So now the fans are fast tracking him to the title. Like, make it easier on yourself. Make it easier on yourself.
Gotcha. Either way, great performance by Bryce Mitchell. Hopefully, we'll see more of him this year, which I think we will. Look forward to seeing Doug Nasty continue to fight, and I can't wait to see. I mean, I think he gives a lot of guys in that division problems. A lot of guys, considering there's a lot of strikers in that division. But we'll see what's next for him down the road. I guess we can transition to another guy who likes to fight a lot, and that's Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland makes his welterweight debut against Alex Cowboy Oliveira and wins second round TKO in the fight. And this was a pretty entertaining fight. Alex got rocked by Kevin, but then he rocked Kevin back, and then there was a point where I forget how he got on the ground. I don't remember what caused it. All I know is that Oliveira had a go ahead.
That was very exciting, like you said. It was a back and forth first round, and Cowboy shot. He shot and got the takedown. But Kevin was fighting it. He was fighting it, but then Cowboy eventually got him. But then right after that, I think Cowboy tried to go for a choke, but Kevin defended it very well. Like, instead of trying to burst out of it and things of that nature, he just put his arm and his shoulder in along with where Cowboy was trying to choke. So it's not a whole lot of pressure on Kevin. If anything, it seemed just like a bear hug on his, just this whole area right here. So there was no choke applied on his chest / neck or something like. It just wasn't you can't apply or choke someone unless you have monstrous strength there. And Cowboy he's not gonna have the strength to kind of choke out Kevin Holland there at that point. So all like that, it was just a it was a meaningless choke. Kevin Holland even threw the thumbs up just like Austin did there.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, the Kevin Holland thing.
Just threw the thumbs up, let the clock run out there, and that was the end of the first round. But all in all, entertaining first round, and you get right back into that second round.
Yeah. Yeah, it was entertaining, and then Kevin Holland caught him. Why my memory shiny from this? It's shot.
I'm sorry. I'm a Kevin Holland fan. I'm gonna remember this one forever. They're exchanging, and I'm live in picture. It looked like Kevin snuck a right hand, snuck a left hand, but it was a right hook. Like, as Cowboy, I think he either throws a kick or throws an overhand punch. Cowboy's face is down here, and Kevin Holland throws the slick right hook. Boom! Cracks Oliveira, and then goes into the ground and pound. Oliveira's protecting himself, and the referee is asking him, man. There's Kevin Holland with the thumbs up, and you see the knot on his head there. That lets you know the knot right there on his head. That lets you know Oliveira had cracked him earlier in that round. That was an entertaining first round, man. Highly entertaining first round. And then the finish was just as exciting. He cracks Oliveira. Oliveira stumbles back. He goes down. Kevin Holland immediately goes into the ground and pound. I'm sorry, my dog just surprised the heck out of me. Go ahead. Rub your chin a little. Goes into the ground and pound. Referee, I think it was Herb Dean was the referee. He's telling Oliveira, try and get yourself out of here, man. Defend yourself. Get out of here. But only thing he could do was cover up. At that point, they stopped the fight, and yeah, Holland wins the fight, man. Impressive welterweight debut. And Kevin Holland looking good, man. I want to see more Kevin Holland, man. More fights from the Trailblazer. And this wasn't Big Mouth that fought tonight. On Saturday night. That wasn't Big Mouth, because there was no talking at all. Not a word from him at all. He just got straight to business. And that, oh man, but just impressive performance. And yeah, he got that bonus.
Deserve that bonus, definitely, for that great performance he put on. And you're right, it was the right hook. I forgot until you mentioned, yeah, it's right hook. So it did him in, Oliveira in. And give Holland credit. I mean, he went through adversity and overcame it and freaking won in his welterweight debut, which to me, I was questioning why going down weight, but he won a fight. He did all right. He looked fine. He looked so Lincoln welterweight. Now I don't know if it's gonna work out the end. I mean, I'd still prefer 185. It's just me, but we shall see. I know he called out the other Cowboy Cerrone, who has fought welterweight before, but Cowboy Cerrone has a fight against Joe Lozon in May, so we have to wait. So Kevin Holland's got to wait a while before he could fight Cowboy Cerrone. So I don't know if he's willing to wait or go fight someone else in the welterweight division.
Yeah, like this is the thing with Kevin Holland. This is the beauty of Kevin Holland. He knows how to market himself, and just as well as knowing how to market himself, he knows how to get under the skin of the right fighter in order to get the right fight. And so he was consistently poking at Derek Brunson, things of that nature before they got to that fight. He gets the fight with Derek Brunson, albeit he loses that fight, but he was still entertaining throughout that fight. Like he got under the skin of Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori was so bothered, like he even kept that attitude to Israel Adesanya, and Israel Adesanya kept doing the same antics with him. It even pushed it up a level, and Marvin just he really got under Marvin Vettori's skin. But I think the reason why moving down a weight class, I think what it does for him is fight night, he's able to move back into the weight he originally is, and that gives him a weight advantage. And so I think the grappling is going to be harder for some people. At least that's the addition for him right there. And it looks like he can cut and put on weight easily.
Yeah, he's lean, so I guess we'll see how his welterweight journey goes and see what he does next. Like I said, does he wait for Cowboy Cerrone, or does he, takes another fight? Because we know Holland likes to fight, be very active. I mean, 2020 he fought 5 times in 7 months, and even last year he fought 3 times. So he's a very active fighter. I mean, that's something to watch out for, Kevin Holland. So shout out to him, got a performance bonus and a great fight, great victory. Good job on Holland. And we go on to the first fight in the main card, which is in the heavyweight division between Sergey Speknik and Greg Hardy. And Sergey Speknik wins this fight via TKO in the first round. I mean, Speknik just dominated this fight. I mean, of course, Speknik was probably the favorite, and it makes sense that he would win the fight, but like that though? Like that? I mean, damn. I didn't expect that. He picked him up and like nothing. I mean, Greg Hardy's a big boy, and he just picked him up like nothing. Like, you thought he was fighting me the way he picked him up and dominated him. I mean, jeez. He just picked him up, ground and pound him. He's a submission guy too, Speknik, but he just ground and pounded him and was able to get the stoppage. And gosh, what if? How did he not get a performance bonus?
Give me one moment. I'm gonna check right now if he got a performance bonus.
No, he did not.
Nope, no, he did not. Here's the crazy part, right? You know how you're surprised about the Colby Monsvado and how I called that? I'm surprised that you're surprised at this result and how the fight went down. I truly am surprised at your astonishment, because I expected this. Like, this is something that what was surprising to me in the fight, if anything, was the shape that Greg Hardy came in, because I'm like, yo, Greg Hardy came in like the best shape he really ever came in a fight. Like, not for nothing, he may have given himself a fighting chance. And then Sergey Spivak just did what he did, and I was like, yeah, this I expected this much. If it was Fat Hardy, then I would have even expected this. I still expected the same thing if it was Fat Hardy. But Slim Hardy, I'm like, yeah, maybe he could give himself a fighting chance. But all in all, it was what it was, man. With Greg Hardy, my thing is, like, at this point, I think he has to play a dangerous game with his career, and that is you have to pivot. You were playing a game all year, like, you really prepared to play football as a career. So now that's what you did coming up as a young guy. So now you may have maybe, let's say you were young, you were athletically gifted, you may have dabbled in a lot of sports, but at a certain point you started to dedicate majority of your time to football. So when you're doing that with football, like, there's certain there's certain habits and muscles that you've developed that you're now trying to retrain and redevelop for MMA and things of that nature. And with MMA, it's a mixture of a lot of martial arts. You need a fluidity. So now, with that being said, it's like I think with Greg Hardy, what he has to do, and this is a dangerous game with him, especially in the heavyweight division, along with the practices that he's doing, because from the shape that he came in and having Rashad Evans next to him, I could clearly see that he's getting more and more dedicated. He's probably gonna have to get active a lot more. You got to keep putting yourself in the octagon in order to help retrain those muscles. That's what I think is going to be best suited for Greg Hardy. That's a dangerous game of heavyweight.
That makes sense, but it is dangerous, like you said, especially a heavyweight where everyone's got power. I think for Greg Hardy, can we maybe not give him, like, maybe tough, throw him to the wolves? Because look at his last several opponents. I mean, they've been Volkov. Who he fought after Volkov? Before, I know he fought Tybura and Tai Tuivasa, and Spective is, I was surprised with how Spective dominated him. Spective is pretty good. I mean, he was ranked not that long ago, and now after this victory, he's ranked number 15 again. But he's been going against killers. I mean, maybe they don't.
It's not. No, this is my thing with Hardy, and this is why, like, it's kind of like a second. It's kind of like a rookie that shows flashes and potential, but it's not there. Like, we've seen Greg Hardy against unranked heavyweights. He looks very, very good.
Yeah.
But then we see him against those guys that, potentially have fallen out of ranking. Like, at that time, like, after you fought in unranked guys and you look good, what's next for you? You have to get ranked.
Yeah.
So now for you to say, next time, let's not give him a killer. No, he's at that stage right now where the only competition he's bargaining for is killers.
Man,
he fought like not for nothing, man. It was him or Tuivasa, because Tuivasa was unranked. Tuivasa and him were unranked. Tuivasa, the reason why Tuivasa's name is ringing bells right now is because the jump he made beating Derek Lewis, because, like, bro, he was not ranked that highly before. I think he was ranked, 12 or 13 or something like
11.
that. He was ranked 11. Now he's ranked number 2 or 1. Like, bro, that's a huge jump. And that was but that's the opportunity that could have been presented to Greg Hardy. So now when you say, like, we don't need to give him killers, it sucks, but he's at that level where the only thing he can get right now is close enough to the ranking. And if the rankings keep shutting him out, then he's an unranked guy, and that's maybe he should be fighting just completely unranked guys. And if someone beats him, then that's the guy that, you know, maybe should be ranked, this, that, whatever. But even then, that's what's happening with him. Spivak beat him, so now he's ranked. Tuivasa beat him, he's ranked. Volkov beat him, now he's back in the ranking. He's at that, like, that's where he's he's technically built out, like Tabora. Like these are all, like, he's built out his own niche, and this is where he's at right now. He's currently the gatekeeper for the rankings.
Think so? I mean, I guess. All right.
Like it's where he's at right now. He's good enough that if an unranked guy beats him, that potentially puts that guy in front of ranked opponents. If he beats, like, where's the next opponent for him? If he beats an unranked guy, what does that do for him? All right, now let's see you fight a ranked guy. He's like it, and it's not to say that, you know, he's done it himself intentionally. It's that right now he's in the limbo of being the gatekeeper for the ranked guys. He's good enough to hold, like, you know, stop whoever's at the door, and, you know, who doesn't belong. He's not good enough to be in the club.
All right. Anyway, I guess, yeah, great victory by Speknik. Fantastic victory from him. And yeah, main card was good. I mean, this main card did deliver. I mean, in some ways, you know, it was a memorable pay-per-view. I'll tell you that right now.
It wasn't better than the preliminaries, I'll tell you that.
Oh, preliminaries were great. I'll give you that. The preliminaries were phenomenal.
The preliminaries were phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. It was just so great. Like, there was so many fighters that I'm now, like, I'm looking and I'm seeing, and I'm like, yo, these are guys I really want to see. Now, I want to see more of them because they're very impressive. I loved what they did, and I really want to see more. Umar Nurmagomedov, man.
Yes. Yes.
Umar Nurmagomedov, ladies and gentlemen. That's a guy on the come up. That is a guy on the come up right there. And what the I know he fought out of his division. What division is he?
Bantamweight.
He's in the bantamweight division, but he fought in the featherweight against Brian Boone Keller. So like I want to see more. I want to see more. And for him to even ask, coming up this week, he wants to get on the card for this week coming up. Please, Dana, please.
Or March 26th, do that as well. If you can't make it this week, well, March 26th is Columbus.
No, I want to see him this week. I want to see the turnaround, like, because he think he got it like that, like Lupi Godinez. Let's see it.
Hamzad.
Please, Dana.
Listen, I want to see it this week too, but if they can't do it, put March 26th. He said that also. From there, obviously you can't go to London, England because it was going on Russia, Ukraine, but yeah. But definitely March 26th. Definitely like to see if he can't make it this week, because I want to see more of Umar. I mean, Umar looked like his cousin Habib when he was wrestling.
Oh, no. He looked different from Habib.
What's wrestling talking about?
Umar is his own Nurmagomedov. Because the wrestling was impressive, yeah, but it wasn't like, with Habib, he had a relentless pressure, and the striking was, it's straightforward. It's nothing fancy, but it's fundamentally sound. His striking was fundamentally sound. Umar Nurmagomedov, ladies and gentlemen, elite kicking ability. Yo, that question mark kick, the first time when he missed, it looked just like a question mark. It looked just like a question mark.
Like Luke Rockhold, his teammate, aka the way he used to throw it. I learned that from him.
The second time when he caught Brian Boone Kelleher, it was so clean. Like, Brian didn't see it coming. And the crazy part is, he kept like he threw it the first time, and it's like, yo, all right, the question mark. But like like sometimes someone you can see a kick, but until like it's just so fast, it don't matter, and it's so technically elite. He's got elite kicking ability, and they said if the striking gets to that point. Oh my God. And then you were absolutely right with the wrestling. But the elite kicking ability, bro, it's so elite.
Yeah,
oh my God. I'm looking, I gotta look right now. Who in the bench? Oh my gosh, he's not even ranked right now.
No, he's not ranked yet. It's the second bantamweight victory in the UFC. So, yeah, he's right. He's almost there. One more victory, he's going to be ranked. In my opinion. But I'll say his wrestling was Habib, like not his fight style, the wrestling. He reminded me of Habib, the way he took over the way he wrestled Kelleher and got the rear naked choke. As Umar remains undefeated at 14-0, like his brother Usman Nurmagomedov from Bellator, who is 14-0 himself. And so it's crazy to think him, his brother 28-0, and their cousin Habib is 29-0, which is about 57-0, I think. Yeah, 57-0, all three of them. Two brothers and one cousin, one family. I mean, that is just... I mean, damn, that's impressive.
It's crazy. It's impressive. You can see it. That's just the lineage. Like, they have a heart foundation. Yeah, but I'm serious. Yeah. The Nurmagomedovs currently have a heart foundation.
Yeah.
They are the hearts of MMA because... we all said it with the Hart Foundation, with wrestling, like that Hart family, they bred just elite wrestlers coming. Like, if you were a Hart, you were an elite wrestler. Yeah. Elite.
Or even if you marry a Hart female, you're an elite wrestler yourself, like British Bulldog and Bulldog, yeah, and Jedi Hart.
Like, they only accepted elite wrestlers in the family. You knew what they were trying to build. They were trying to build something genetically, and they got it done. So now the Nurmagomedovs, it seems like they got that going right now, and hopefully they keep the trend going. But yo, man, Umar Nurmagomedov, elite kicking, man.
Yep, elite, definitely elite. And also, I want to give a shout to Jalen Turner for his victory over Jamie Markley. I mean, he stunned him in the first round several times before he got taken down by Jamie, but he was able to survive that. But then cracked him with a right hook and just dropped him. And then less than a minute to the second round, it was just game over from there. Impressive victory for him. I think that was his fifth or fourth straight victory or something like that.
Yes. And not only that, he's currently got 100% finish rate. He's 12-5. It's 9 KOs, 3 submissions. Including that one, it was 9 KOs, 3 submissions. That man finished. Oh my God, Jalen Turner. I had to add him on Twitter. I'm following him on Twitter now, and it's crazy. I looked at it. I'm surprised. It's a shame. He should have gotten a performance bonus. I really think he should have gotten a performance bonus, because that was a show he put on. Him and Jamie Mullarkey put on a show. Jamie Mullarkey, all bloodied up, still was trying to throw some haymakers and caught Jalen Turner a couple of times, made Jalen Turner reassess. But Jalen Turner, oh my gosh, man. I think that what impressed me the most about Jalen Turner, man, when he rocked Jamie Mullarkey, it wasn't, I gotta get on it. It's like, nah, let me make sure he's right in view. Let me make sure every punch counts. When I'm throwing with intent, and I want to make sure I land. And that's what he did. He stayed calm. He's fluid as an athlete. Very impressive. It's all there for him, man. He has the makings to be someone elite in the MMA. You gotta next fight that he has, man. I need to be notified.
Yeah. Same. And Speaking, also, there was a very competitive, close, controversial fight in the prelims. Also, that was an important fight too, especially in the strawweight division. That was between Yan Xian and Marina Rodriguez. And Marina Rodriguez gets the split decision victory, 29-28, and two judges scorecards. Just scored for Yan, 29-28, and the first round was clearly Jan's. The third round was Rodriguez. The second round comes down to, and Dan, I know in the live stream, you and my dad both thought Xian should have won second round, should have got the victory.
It didn't make any sense to me. It like the second round doesn't even seem like a toss up to me. Yan looked clearly better. She clearly won that second round to me. It wasn't even a debate to me. It felt like she clearly won it. She provided majority of the pressure along with throwing damaging kicks. The only reason she lost any round was when she lost that hop step and when Marina could slowly start to walk her down. But even then, it's like that second round, she stayed with that hop step and Marina couldn't do anything about the speed of Zhang Yan. Like, it disgusting judging, man.
It was. I thought Yan should have got the victory. She probably should have got the victory over Marina Rodriguez. And yeah, I mean, this was a big fight because both women were top 5 in the strawweight division, and the winner of this fight probably is going to fight the winner of Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas when they have their title fight. So yeah, it's kind of sucks to see see a fight where you think the judges get it wrong. And I was watching it last night to see like what happened, and I thought Yan should have got the victory in this case.
And the worst part about it is like the last couple of fights for Marina Rodriguez have not been particularly exciting. She's not, and it's not to say that like it's a boring style of fight what she does, and there's nothing flashy about it. And it's not saying that it's not like it's not something like, at least with Colby Covington. Colby Covington doesn't provide an exciting style of fight either. The only time Colby's fight was exciting was against Kamaru Usman, and that had to degenerate to something that Colby isn't. Because remember, that fight dealt with those two the first time. Was a lot of striking. Even the second one as well. The second one was exciting as well, but that one didn't deal with a lot of wrestling either. Those two mainly stayed on their feet. Colby Covington, when he's a wrestler, like it's not an exciting fight. And with Rodriguez, she's not a wrestler, but it wasn't an exciting type of style of fight, and it didn't seem dominating anyways either. So coming up, like I don't see her having anything for Rose. If Rose beats Carlin's fight,
Rodriguez is good, but yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know if she can beat Rose like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe because Mia Rodriguez's last fight before this was against Mackenzie Dern, where she dominated Mackenzie and was able to stuff some of her takedowns, but wasn't anything like blowing. It wasn't like spectacular. I mean, she dominated Mackenzie, but still. At least with Colby, when Colby does his wrestling, at least he's dominating guys. It looks like he's just outclassed. You can tell. The big Brian guys. Even some fights where he's done a lot of striking. I mean, the Robbie Lawler fight, he drew a bunch of strikes, and still. But yeah, Rodriguez doesn't exactly have that case in some of her fights where she may win her fight, she may do well against her opponent, but she's not like, it's not exactly super duper exciting, but it's effective though. Although this fight, I don't think it was the case, but
it wasn't effective. It didn't look effective to me. Whatever. I'm not even gonna. I'm not delving into it too much. The only thing I can say was that I felt like Zhang and Yan got robbed of this, and I know Marina probably thinks that that's her next fight, the title fight. But man, if I'm Zhang Weili, after watching that, Marina, step on up. Let's see if you really want to be the number one contender. I have the actual number one next to my name. So I'm like, after those two, I think I should be next. But if you really think you got it like that, I want to remind the world who I am.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. I like that fight. I'll say Yuan and Jacek versus her, Marina Rodriguez, but the Wei Li Zhang one, that's a good one too. Can argue that.
Brother, and Jacek, I know she wants to get back in the title contention, so who knows? Maybe that may be a good fight for her. But Zhang Weili, if I'm her, I'm jumping on it because that's an easy, like, not to say it's an easy fight, but that's an easy plate as far as like if I want a roadmap and I want to fight the least amount of fights possible in order to get into to what I want, which is that championship bout again. Easy. You see an up and comer who's really putting their name out there. I call Dana White. That's the fight I want next. And then right after that, I go on Twitter. I say, "You're buns. You're ducking me. All of that. I'm enticing the fight like that. Because they also need to help sell these fights as well."
Yep.
I love watching the women fight because they display also a different set of skill. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, there hasn't been another guy that has come close to GSP, but there is another person that I think has come close as far as like keep on reinventing themselves and showing an evolution of skill, and that is Valentina Shevchenko. So well rounded in everything. And continuing to evolve. That's the person that I feel is skill-wise closest to GSP. Y'all gotta promote that. Let's help you promote that.
Yep. And anything else you want to mention on this card before?
I gotta call it, like, I respect it. I don't condone it.
Oh, yeah, that, yes.
I respect it. I don't condone it. But what can I do? I'm not the guy in the black shirt in the middle of the two fighters. Tim Elliott fought Tagir. Ulan back off. I didn't want to butcher it. Tahir Ulan back off. Tim Elliott wins this fight via decision, unanimous decision. And Tim Elliott fought like it. All right. Let me just set the stage for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Elliott fights a great first round. It wasn't anything, it wasn't anything malicious there. He fought a great first round. The awkward style that Tim Elliott had, it truly confused Tahir Ulanbekov, like confused him. And this guy is a highly touted prospect, and I believe this isn't the end for him. He's gonna fight another fight, and I believe he's gonna continue to impress him. This is just a bump in the roadmap.
Yep.
Tim Elliott fights a great first round. Going into the second round, he continues with the awkward style, but then he starts to slow down, part in part because Tahir's starting to figure it out. He's starting to catch Tim Elliott, and when Tim Elliott with that awkward style and no defense, he kind of get gassed a little. It runs his gas tank a little. So he slowed it down a little. Then he starts grabbing gloves. What else did he do? He got away like...
I think he might have grabbed Tahir's shorts.
He grabbed his shorts.
There was might have been one or two knees. I think in the first or the second round where it looked like
the first
he
round,
kneed him down.
No, the first round, the knee was very, very close, but it was legal.
Right.
Now, that first knee, I excused it because I'm like, hey, in the heat of battle, and you just trying to, especially against a guy like this, if you feel like you can get the easy finish against him, and that'll help boost yourself, then fine. And with the rush of adrenaline and everything of that nature, I say, hey, that's fine. If it was illegal and he got away, same thing with Peter Yan. I don't think he knew, like, yo, this knee is illegal. I'm really trying to hurt Aljamain Sterling. It's like, no. I think he thought, hey, I could get away with hurting him here because we're in the confines of the octagon. I'm trying to dish out as much punishment as possible, and that's what he was trying to do. Tahir gets his hand up just in time. The knee is legal. The second one, they're questioning that one, and that one is questionable as well. Grabbing the glove, pulling the shorts. Tim Elliott, I respect it because it showed his will to win. He was trying to win by any means necessary. But I don't see that being a recipe for success in every fight for Tim Elliott moving forward. And so that's what I'd like to say with that.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win every fight like that, and I'm surprised the ref didn't take points away or stop noticing. I mean, it was he did a lot, a lot of different things. There are kind of fouls, and I think even I don't know if Habib got upset at that or Tahir not doing more. Just that famous thing you see Habib get screaming in Russian, get yelling things like that.
I think it's both. I think with Habib, because he was definitely mad at Mark Goddard. I remember it was Mark Goddard that was a referee for the fight, and the reason why Mark Goddard didn't take the point away is because Tim Elliott did it in a way that he couldn't see it. They're clinched up against the cage. He's grabbing the glove, and now just when Tahir starts to make a complaint about it, he lets go just in time for him to try and switch the position of things of that nature, never giving Mark Goddard enough time to see it, go, hey, stop that. That's not what we're doing. And then see it again and go, okay, now I'm watching for it, and now I'm going to take the point. Tim Elliott never gave him the opportunity to. And that's why I was like, yo, I could kind of I can't get mad at Tim Elliott because he's even cheating in the right way. Okay. You cheat just enough to give yourself the advantage. You make the fighter, confuzzled, confused, things of that nature. And then right after that, what happens? If he's complaining to the ref, that means he's not paying attention to you. Then he inflicts pain and damage and tries to get position and all that. It's same thing if a toe stomp. And it's not, I don't want to equate it to the toe stomp, but you know how if you try to go for one submission, but you're really trying to go for another, that's what was going on there. I don't condone it. Yeah, I don't condone it, but I respect it.
Yeah, good victory for Tim Elliott though against Tahir, a guy in Tahir who's very very highly talented and a guy who definitely I think we haven't seen the last of him especially in the rankings.
Most definitely, I agree with that. So with that being said, I want to that's the end of the UFC 272 card there. I want to just jump right into this card that's coming up on Eagle FC on Friday at 6 p.m. On the FLX cast. It's going to be Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez in the Eagle FC's welterweight division. This is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to this one. I really want to see this fight. And there's also going to be they have some interesting fighters on this card that I'm going to be looking out for.
Yeah.
They have Kevin Lee, most definitely. That's always a guy to be interested in. Diego Sanchez, now that he's gotten rid of that weird guy, how are we going to see him, propel in his career? They also have a heavyweight championship bout, so that's going to be going on. That's the co-main event there. Rizvan Kunev versus Anthony Hamilton. I'm interested in that. That's a heavyweight bout with the title on the line. big boys, it's either going to be a slog fest or it's going to be a one and done. We know how that goes. Ray Borg back on the card, man.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. After that last performance he had, I love it. I want to see more Ray Borg. He's going up against Ricky Bandejas, so I'm interested in this.
Me too. That's a good fight.
Yeah, Hadison Fiera versus Jack Chusola. I don't know either of these two, but so far the card has some interesting fighters for me, so I'm interested in. I'm gonna be interested in that. Raimon Magomedali versus Impa Kasagane. We know Impa Kasagane. He had a rough go of it in the UFC, so now he's fighting over here. That's a guy with huge knockout potential. I want to see this fight as well. So there's some names on this Eagle FC card I'm very interested in.
Yeah, Eagle FC has definitely got a new card for their second American show. Yeah, second show in the United States in Miami. So they got some fighters. Like, interested to see how these guys fight. Also, Darrell Horcher's on this card. If I'm mistaken, Horcher fought Habib back in 2016 when it was supposed to be him and Tony, but Tony got hurt and Horcher was a great replacement. So it's kind of ironic that now he's fighting on Habib's card after fighting Habib back 6 years ago as a late replacement. Just want to point that out.
Most definitely. But all in all, man, Eagle FC, guys, you guys got to check that out. It is coming up on Friday at 6 p.m. I'm going to be watching it. Be there, be square. So from there, you want to get right into the Bellator card that's coming up? Bellator 276?
Yeah, let's
get
do
right
that.
into this.
This is a good Bellator card. It's the main event is between BORICS and Masvidal in the featherweight division. In the featherweight division, 5 rounds. So the second 5-round non-title main event in Bellator. After the first one between Logan Story and Neiman Gracie, and both guys are ranked number 2, which is kind of weird. They both have the same ranking, but hey, whoever wins this fight is more likely going to fight the winner of AJ and Pitbull, the rematch that's going to happen next month. And both guys are really good. I mean, this is a fantastic fight. I mean, Adam BORICS is 17-1. I mean, the only slip up was against Darren Caldwell, the featherweight tournament, in the first round, I believe, or second round. I don't remember. And then Masvidal is 16-3, coming off, I believe, like 4 or 5 in a row victories, and he's coming off a dominant victory over Emmanuel Sanchez. And this is gonna be I mean, I can't wait to see this fight. These are 2 young guys who are both studs, both guys who could definitely both guys who can win possibly the title by the end of the year, possibly. I mean, this is gonna be a killer fight. I mean, I'm looking forward to this fight. What a great main event for Bellator.
It's a great card, and then I'm looking at the co-main event there. I'm interested in this. Phil Davis versus Julius Angelicus. I'm interested in that right there. Last time we saw Phil Davis, it was a dominant performance there against Yoel Romero. It was a completely dominant performance there. Phil Davis just systematically took apart Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero definitely didn't help himself with the inactivity he had all throughout the round. So I know Phil Davis wants to at least, even though that was a dominant performance, he kind of wants to, just give people a better showing of himself. I know Phil Davis is a consummate professional, so I'm definitely interested in that co-main event right there.
Phil Davis is always a tough guy to beat. I mean, Phil Davis, it's hard to look great against Phil Davis typically, where you're winning or losing. So, and Julius Angelicus, his last fight was against Vadim Nemkov. He was a late replacement for Anthony Rumble Johnson in the lightweight tournament, and even in rocked on Nemkov. Nemkov was able to, after that first round, pick him apart and just beat him up. And he comes his record 10-2, and I think Gus is I think for Julius this is a big fight for him. If he can beat Phil Davis, I mean, this puts him right back in the title contention, possibly gain a potential rematch for with Nemkov, depending if Nemkov beats Corey Anderson next month as well, that same card. And Phil Davis and for Phil Davis, just trying to defend your spot's one of the top light heavyweights in Bellator. It's going to be tough to get a dirt crack at Nemkov, considering he lost twice to him. But hey, Corey Anderson can win. Maybe performance like this could give him a title fight against Corey Anderson if he shall win. So it's a big deal in the light heavyweight division. And I want to see if Julius English can stop Davis's takedowns, because Davis has a wrestling background. I do want to see if wrestling plays a part in this fight.
Okay. So we also have on this card John Salter versus Johnny Eblen. John Salter, he's coming back off of the loss against Gegard Mousasi. So I know he wants to, he has to recover after a long time from that, but now he's coming back. He wants to put in a new image in everyone's mind. So I'm there for that. This is a very interesting Bellator card. This is very interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it is very interesting. Gegard, like you said, the Gegard fight didn't go his way. He got finished by Gegard in the title fight. But he's going against an undefeated Johnny Eblen, who's undefeated, who's ranked number 3. Salter's just ranked number 1. And so this is the top 3 in the middleweight division. I mean, if Johnny Eblen can defeat John Salters, I mean, who's to say Eblen doesn't fight Gegard Mousasi next?
Knowing that Gegard just came off of a victory against Vanderford, he currently doesn't have an opponent and he hasn't called anyone out. This is the time to make your name.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And maybe Salters get nah, because he got finished by Gegard. I think Salters had to win another fight before. Even if he wins this fight, he probably have to win another one before he get the Gegard rematch, to be fair.
So then, if anything, if John Salter could win this fight, we may be possibly looking forward to John Salter versus Austin Vanderford fight.
Yes, actually, that's a good point. Yeah,
we shall see.
That makes sense.
And I don't know any of these two fighters on the first fight. JJ Wilson versus Gadzi Rabonov. You know any of these guys? You gotta let me know.
Ozzy Rabonov, I've heard of. I know he trains with I think he trains with Habib and Javier Mendez, aka. So I know he's from Dagestan. I think he trains with those guys. And I'm just checking his record. He's got 11 to 16 victories or finishes. So chances usually get a finish in these fights. Rabonov and JJ Wilson, I know he's undefeated 8-0. So he's undefeated young prospect who in the lightweight division. That I know. I don't know like too much about it, but this is a good, solid opening fight for the main card of his Bellator card.
Okay. So all in all, this is going to be a very interesting Bellator card. This goes down, I believe this goes down Saturday, 6 p.m. on Showtime. Bellator, Saturday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is the prelims. The preliminaries for Bellator, that always airs on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, go just look it up on YouTube, Bellator. Subscribe to their channel. The preliminaries are always there on YouTube. And if you guys ever need to, just kick it and watch the preliminaries with someone, I'm always there. Just let me know, and we'll possibly do a watch along with you guys. So yeah.
Oh yeah, one thing mentions that JJ Wilson and Rabonov are both finishers, because JJ Wilson has 7 of his 8 victories are finishes. So it's possible the first fight of the main card might be a finish.
Oh, it's nice. That would be the best way to start off the card. So all in all, I'm very excited for that. Looking forward to this one, man. Bellator 276, BORICS versus BURRELL, and Davis versus. I don't want to butcher his last name. Could you pronounce it?
Julius Angelis.
So yeah, that's happening at Friday, the preliminary 6 p.m. Remember, guys, just go to Bellator on YouTube. They stream it right there for free. Everyone to watch. You can enjoy some violence on Saturday just before you get into the main card. And along with that, we also have another fight promotion holding down they're hosting a card, earlier in the day. That's gonna happen at 4 p.m. So man, look at that. You're going to start off Saturday with some UFC. You can end it off right with some Bellator. Just straight violence all throughout the night, man. Throughout the day and night. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Absolutely do. And this is going to be Santos versus Ankalaev. Ankalaev. This is the preliminary start off Saturday on ESPN at 4 p.m. Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division, man. Tell me, Austin, what do you see from this? How do you see this going? Because for me personally, I know one thing is that Thiago Santos, he has to step it up.
Yes, I agree 1000%. He has to step it up. He has to, because his last performance against Johnny Walker was a disappointment. He won the fight, but that was the most disappointing fight of 2021. That was, yeah. And then even the I'm trying to remember what fight he had before. Oh, the Rakic fight, Alexander Rakic fight, where he lost, where it wasn't a great fight either. He really didn't look good at all in that fight against Alexander Rakic. And then the Glover Teixeira fight, he looked well, but Glover was able to come back and just be able to. I think he submitted Thiago Santos.
Yes, he did, with the rear naked choke. Flattened him out and got the rear naked choke.
Yes. Yeah, he's got to step up, especially going against this guy, Magomed Ankalaev, who's a light heavyweight from Dagestan. Which, I mean, it doesn't matter what gym they're from. It doesn't matter if they're with Habib or not, or they train ATT or New Jersey with Mark Henry and them. It don't matter. They usually tend to be great fighters. And Magomed Ankalaev is someone who gets forgotten about. He's like the one Dagestani fighter that doesn't get talked about enough as being good or great. That gets overlooked. And this is a chance for him to win in the main event, to definitely put his name closer to the title picture. And especially if he can finish or just dominate against Thiago Santos, a former title challenger, he can definitely put himself in that title picture with Alexander Rakic and Anthony Smith and guys like that. And Proska is fighting for the title. And Jan Blachowicz.
Most definitely, you definitely boost his standing, and also put an image in our minds, keep it fresh. That way we could possibly be calling for more fights for Magomed. But Thiago Santos, man, it's all about him. I really believe that John Jones fight changed him. Ever since that fight with John Jones and all the injuries he occurred, he didn't look fluid. The last time he looked really, really good. And it sucks to say this, was against Johnny Walker in that fight, where he just looked a lot more fluid. But at the same time, it kind of felt like those guys were sparring with each other, weren't throwing with any intensity. So that's why it's man. Santos, he has an opportunity. If he looks better here, then he could get back up on the rise and look like that hammer that we know him to be, man. We know Thiago Santos is a powerful guy. He was on the up and coming. He was rise. He did definitely get that title shot, and he earned it every bit of the way because of the rise that he had. So I'm looking forward to Thiago Santos hopefully regaining form and looking better and better. Same.
But I think it's going to be tough going into Magomed Ankalaev. I'm just saying. Especially when we did Uzdemir. Uzdemir based. If you remember, Uzdemir, the first minute of that fight had success, but then he clipped Uzdemir, and Uzdemir just was too defensive from that point on, and just coast. And Ankalaev was able to coast his victory against Volkan Uzdemir in his last fight.
Most definitely, but all in all, I believe this main event, it shouldn't be a dud. Hopefully, it isn't a dud. These two, they have something to fight for, and they gotta put an image in our mind, man. They gotta let us know that they're here to impress. And with this division being it's not wide open, but you saw it, like Prochazka, not Prochazka, excuse me. Damn.
Who?
Excuse me. Jan Blachowicz, he really defended the title once against someone who moved up into the weight class and really didn't even put on the weight to fight against him. And he kind of just dominated with the wrestling and just owning position over Israel Adesanya. So and now you have Glover to share. Like, it's kind of letting people know, hey, if I get my shot, it seems like this title can change hands a lot. So these guys, they definitely gotta jockey for position, gotta give people a reason to kind of hoist your name up into title contention, and this fight can do so.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there about this fight can put them closer to title contention. But yeah, good main event. Definitely good main event to have in this card.
And from there, we could go right into the co-main event in the bantamweight division. Marlon Moraes versus Song Yadong. These two guys are going to be throwing fire at each other.
Yes, they are.
These two guys are going to be throwing fire at each other. Like, this is going to end in knockout.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is going to be a potential finish to this fight. Now, who wins? I don't know. Marlon Moraes, he's lost 3 in a row, and he's been stopped all 3 times. But the thing with his last fight, he went against Merab, Dober is that he hurt Merab. I mean, he was beating up Merab. Merab was getting it, was beat up bad. I mean,
he won the first round against Merab Devashweli. He actually won the first round, and then Devashweli came back, almost finished him. Devashweli came back, all because Moraes, he's consistently had this issue with his stamina, with his gas tank. And a lot of people feel like watching that fight and the way it flipped, it's like you kind of you blew your load in the first round, and Merab came back and got the win.
Yeah, it's happened to him against Henry Cejudo. Dominated Cejudo in the first round, but Cejudo was able to pull through, and Moraes got tired, so he was able to pick him apart, finish him in the third round of that fight.
And so with that being said, it's like Marlon Moraes, we know he has the talent. It's all about, can you pace yourself? Like, you're probably not gonna, like, you're not gonna gain any more of a gas tank. You're not gonna. Not all of us are cardio kings like Colby Covington and have a second lung, And so you're born with the lungs you have. You're born with the lung you got. Only thing you can do now at this point is pace it. Don't stretch out that one lung, Don't try and stress it out and things of that nature. Try and preserve yourself at least. Like every fighter, you're gonna be tired in that third round. At least preserve yourself to the second round and see if you can do a lot of your damage in that second round and save at least a little something for that third round to where you empty it out completely in the third. Because your aspiration essentially is to fight 5 rounds. You would like to finish things optimally in the first round. God willing, everyone would love their fight to end in the first round, but it doesn't happen like that. Everyone's good. Everyone's training just as hard as you are. So at that point, sometimes the fight may go into the 3rd or 5th round. You gotta be able to pace yourself, and that's the biggest issue with Marlon Moraes. Can he do that? All in all, I don't think this fight gets to the 3rd round. It's going to end via TKO or ground and pound.
I think so. Someone's getting finished, probably. Yeah, I know. Yes. Both guys got to be worried about each other's power. And they both guys are going to go at it, but they also got to be careful not to, leave themselves open to get hit by a big shot. Easier said than done, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, most definitely. So from that being said, we're going to go right into this next fight on the card in the featherweight division. Sadiq Yusuf versus Alex Bruce Leroy. I don't know how to say this last name.
Karras.
You got to tell me, man, what do you see out of this fight? How do you see this going? Like, this fight also is going to end. I think this fight is also going to end in KO, but it all depends on what KO fashion it goes. Because Sadiq Yusuf, for me, I think he's he's more heavy-handed than Alex. And so with that being said, if Sadiq Yusuf, if he doesn't tire himself out, then he could possibly get the KO. Versus Alex, I think he's a more versatile striker, and I think he can possibly get the fight done if he's using his angles. But what do you see?
Exactly. He's more versatile, but I think he's more versatile, so when you do more versatile strikes to try to get the fight on the ground. If he can get the fight on the ground, he might be able to have a better shot of winning via submission, where Youssef might have a better chance of knocking him out. Now, Alex Karasev is he's won, I believe, 4 in a row or 5 in a row. I'm checking right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. He's won, so he's been put on a little streak. And Sadiq Youssef was in the rankings when he lost before his last fight when he lost to Arnold Allen. So I think whoever wins this fight can probably put themselves in the. Oh no, Youssef is still ranked. He's ranked number 12.
Okay.
It's just that okay. So if Youssef wins, he defends his ranking position basically, and probably get himself a top 10 opponent. Whereas Alex could sneak in the rankings.
Oh no, they updated it. Alex is 15.
Oh, they're both ranked. Okay, I thought Alex wasn't ranked. My apologies.
Yeah, Alex is 15 and Youssef is 12, like you said. So either way, one of these guys is, going to be on the verge of defending, trying to stay in the rankings and get themselves more opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, they definitely will. And my thing is, if this gets to the ground, I think Bruce Leroy, has a shot. Alex has a shot of winning the fight versus a much better chance, I think, personally, than if it stands. I think it might favor Sadiq, but I could be wrong about that. That's just my opinion about the fight.
I mean, with a heavy-handed guy like Sadiq, maybe grappling does favor him because now you have the opponent right there. He's stationary and you could take care of him.
Yeah, it's true. What's a good featherweight fight?
Yeah, this is a good fight. And so far, I'm looking at this card. It's great. And ooh!
What
Going
happened?
right into this next fight on the card. Carl Robertson versus Khalil Roundtree. Ladies and gentlemen, last time we saw Khalil Roundtree, he was making headlines because everyone in the world was like, oh no, you really hurt this guy in the octagon. Why did you injure him so badly? And it's like, bruh. He got it off. He got the oblique kick off, and now it's to a point where as much as everyone had their moral high standing of what they wanted to do with the oblique kick, now every fighter I've seen at least throw it one time in a fight to try and end it quickly. Everyone's trying to end their fight quickly. All in all, I'm excited for this.
I am too. Khalil Roundtree, very exciting fighter. Usually, a lot of times, he gets a lot. When he knocks people out, it's usually devastating. However, to his losses, he did get viciously knocked out as well. But either way, Khalil Roundtree is a very exciting, very talented fighter. Amazing beginning of him putting everything together, going on the run in the light heavyweight division. I don't know, but what you'll see. I know he's been training in Thailand for a little bit, learning his Muay Thai, and when he implements his Muay Thai, his leg kicks are very vicious. The vicious leg kicks. I mean, the way he beat up Eric Anders in their fight a couple years ago with leg kicks. I mean, man, that was brutal to watch. If you remember that fight.
Yeah, but even then, with the Modestas Bukauskas, man, just the way he got that off, and I'm sorry, like he's making a little name for himself right now. And you gotta respect that. Can't do anything but respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Carl Robinson, it's Carl Robertson. So he's from New Jersey, and he has a kickboxing background. Fought, he lost most of his, I think, all his kickboxing fights. Still has a kickboxing background, and so I think this might be a stand-up fight, particularly. So it's a possibility that Khalil Roundtree can maybe, or might knock him out, or Robertson might get a decision, but I think it's going to be a lot of stand-up. I don't think it's going to be too much ground game, just personally.
Nah, I agree with that 100%. It's not a whole lot of grappling. If anything, they're probably going to push up each other against the cage here and there. That at that point, stay in the clinch. If they want to work in the clinch and they find something, positive going on in the clinch, then they'll do a lot of that. But all in all, this isn't going to be any grappling. This is going to be strictly striking.
Yep. I agree 100%. Yep, definitely. And Now this fight, anything else you want to say before we move on to the next fight? Because I do want to talk about it a little bit.
No, we can get right into this next fight. Speaking of grappling, we have this next fight that's happening where it's happening on a week's notice for Terence McKinney, or 2 weeks notice. He's kind of jumped in for Drew Dober's opponent that fell out due to injury. So he's now Terence McKinney is subbing in. He is going to fight Drew Dober, and yeah, you let me know, man. What are you thinking of this fight?
Man, it's a good fight. Really good fight. I mean, I know Drew Dober is on a 2-fight losing streak, but Drew Dober is really talented. I mean, before the Islam Makhachev fight, he was on a 3-fight winning streak with TKOing, KOing people. He trains with Justin Gaethje and I believe Trevor Whitman. I know him and Gaethje are training partners, and he's a good fighter. I mean, people don't forget, just because he's lost recently doesn't mean he can't fight. I mean, he's pretty damn good, and so is Terence McKinney. McKinney's made a name for himself. I mean, recently, all his fights don't go past 3 minutes or 2 minutes, really. I mean, I forgot they put the graphic UFC of his average fight time. It's I
think all his fights combined added up to 5 minutes. So he's potentially had so far just one round of octagon time.
Crazy. And if Terence McKinney's on 2 weeks after his last fight, able to beat Drew Dober, it's hard to put him in the rankings after this. I mean, he won 5-6 light fights in a row in the UFC. And if you're Drew Dober, you can stop that hype from Terence McKinney and be able to even if you finish McKinney, you can probably get back to the rankings, or at least be right there near the rankings. At least get back where you were a year ago before you fought Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the crazy part is, man, with McKinney, man, if he's successful and he's able to, put on a show against Drew Dober, especially coming off, 2 weeks notice, I think UFC, they jump him ahead of some people and put him right there in the rankings just to make it interesting.
Yes, you're right about that. I agree with that.
Especially it's just the way he's done it, and he's certainly gotten Dana, this is a favor for Dana White right now. He's giving Dana White a favor. He's giving him an exciting fight. Not only that, but Terence McKinney, his name just already grew a buzz in reference to Bryce Mitchell. His name grew a buzz after that last fight. He started also growing a buzz from going back and forth with Paddy Pimblett. So now where is he at? Right back in the octagon, trying to remind us once again, hey, I'm Terence McKinney. I'm that guy. And I'm gonna keep telling you I'm that guy until I'm right at that point where you have no choice but to say, damn, he told me years ago he was that guy, and look at him being that guy.
Yep, he's got a chance to be that guy, especially if he beats Dober, which, I mean, I can see it, but I can't. But we'll see Saturday night who wins that fight. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in that fight. I mean, Terence McKinney, he's becoming like the Kevin Holland of the lightweight division now.
Very exciting. So exciting. I really want to see him fight against ranked guys and see what happens in that lightweight. Oh my God. I'm looking at some of the names. It's like Terence McKinney versus Michael Chandler. How would that go?
I mean, we gotta wait and see. Who knows?
We gotta wait and see. But all in all, man, I'm excited for that. And the first fight on the main card.
Oh yeah.
This guy's been talking a lot of trash recently, but it's Bruno Silva versus Alex Pereira.
He's the one that's been talking a lot of trash. Alex Pereira.
He's the one that's been talking a lot of trash, man. Talking about talking a whole lot about Israel Adesanya and how Israel is ducking him. brother, salute to you. Salute to you. Impressive victory he had against the last fight where we saw him go into the first fight. The guy went with a heavy grappling exchange and he kept taking Pereira down. The second time it just wouldn't work, and then Pereira instantly finished it with the next couple of kicks he got off. But brother, put a number next to your name first. Put a number next to your name. Please.
Yeah.
Please. Get a number next to your name. Fight some of these ranked guys. Like, he can't possibly be ducking you. You're not on the radar.
No, you're on the radar. You gotta get on the radar first in order to challenge a guy like Israel Adesanya. And I know you two fought in kickboxing. You knocked them out in kickboxing. But it was a competitive. Even that fight was competitive, though. That kickboxing fight prior to the knockout. But MMA is different. It's a different sport. I mean, just because you're a great kickboxer doesn't mean you're a success in MMA. Now everyone's Mirko Crow Cop, where you go transition from a great kickboxing career to a great MMA career.
And not only that, but here's the craziest part about it all is that there's certain things you just have not done that Israel Adesanya has done. Like, it takes elite wrestlers. Scratch that. It takes how much wrestling does it take to take down Israel Adesanya? A lot. Even elite wrestlers find trouble with taking him down, and he is just getting better and better with the defense. Like, brother, you're not even this is the thing. Can you deal with wrestlers? Because that guy took you down, but he wasn't offensive with his wrestling, so he wasn't trying to get any submissions on Pereira. It was just ground and pound, and you realize his power dip wasn't all that. So now it's just, hey, I'm gonna do point punching and all that. Brother, please. And we're supposed to be previewing you versus Bruno Silva, but brother, please. Crawl before you walk.
Yep. And speaking of Bruno Silva, I was gonna mention, do you think Bruno Silva tried to take him down? Because Bruno Silva, I was look up his resume, and he has 22 victories, 19 by KO and TKO. So he's a finisher. He likes to knock guys out.
If I'm Bruno, I'm mixing in the punches and the grappling, because unlike the last guy that Pereira faced, matter of fact, in kickboxing, I don't think you deal with the ground and pound, do you?
No.
So Pereira has never had to deal with the ground and pound. He's never had to see what it's like when someone's trying to grapple him and take the choke, and then if you're defending the choke. Even that, his grappling defense was not all that good in that first fight.
It was not. You're right about that.
If I'm Bruno Silva, because I know this guy wants to do the kicks or whatever, I'm gonna let him get comfortable earlier in the first round with the kicking. But as soon as he throws something I can telegraph, I'm catching it. I'm getting it straight into a grappling thing, and I'm shooting 3 or 4 times all in one attempt. And if that doesn't happen, then we're gonna try something else. But I'm shoot 3 or 4 times. If I get him down, I'm going to town.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention about Bruno Silva, he is on a 7-fight win streak too. So
yep.
So this is a test for Alex Pereira. See where he's at. I mean, they're throwing him to the wolves. I mean, Bruno Silva ain't no slouch. 19 knockout KOs, TKOs, 22 victories, 7 in a row. I mean, we'll see how good, how easy he handle that. So I know he's got a lot of fighting experience, but different sport. Kickboxing is not MMA. Like I said, now everyone can be Mirko Crow Cop or even Mark Hunt. Even Mark Hunt early on struggled. Now, granted, they threw Mark Hunt to the wolves, but still, Mark Hunt, like great kickboxer, struggled first MMA, but then was able to turn around. But still, there's also a lot of kickboxers who don't do well in MMA.
And maybe it's just, what it is? Izzy's rise was so impressive, and he doesn't realize what Izzy had to go through. Right. If he happens to get there, then I think he's a favorable matchup for Israel Adesanya, because they're both not either looking for a takedown, so it's going to get right into striking.
Right.
And I think he's just, naturally at that weight, he's more powerful than Adesanya. But Adesanya fought plenty of grapplers, man. He fought different creative type of strikers. He fought all the list of guys that Pereira has not run into yet. So with that being said, man, you just can't, just crawl before you walk before you run. That's all I gotta say with that.
Definitely agree. Nice. This main card is pretty damn good. I can't lie. I say for sometimes the card after the pay-per-view, the main card can sometimes be a disappointment. Not gonna lie, but this is not the case here. This is a really good card for a main card, top to bottom. I can't. They did a good job. Tip your hat to the UFC for this card.
Most definitely. You even look at something like you look at the preliminaries. They got some favorite fighters of mine coming back that last time they saw them, they kind of I saw that they lost. Maybe this guy we were talking about just now, Chris Moitano.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Preliminaries against Guido Canetti. That's going to be the second fight on the main card. Tefan Chukwi, you remember him? He had an impressive KO. Well, he's back.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. But he's back right now. And who else? Give me one moment. Jillian Robertson. She's fighting JJ Aldridge. I love Jillian Robertson. If there's anything that I just wanted her to work on is that her striking. But she's a great grappler and she's very aggressive with the grappling. Always trying to get a submission. That's something I can always appreciate there. So love that. She's fighting JJ Aldridge. That's very interesting right there. Trevin Jones, very interesting fighter as well on bantamweight. He's fighting Javid Basharat. Dude.
Random Maverick?
Random Maverick.
Yeah, she's
Let's go. Maverick is back, baby. Let's go. I want to see her get some wins. She's facing Sabrina Mazo. So that'll be an interesting fight right there. Mazo, I think her last fight was a loss against
who? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Angapova. So it's that right there. Maverick, she's coming off of a loss as well. So these two, they gotta this is a get right fight for them. This is a get right. And me personally, I don't think Miranda Maverick lost against Macy Barber, but
I agree with you.
Against Erin Blanchfield, and she gotta get right. She's gotta get right. So all in all, these are some very interesting fights on the preliminaries. I'm excited for this one.
Yep, me too. I'm excited for this. Yeah, I'm excited for that fight. Well, the preliminary fights, that one interests me the most. Is that one, the Maverick fight, and Sabina Mazos, because Maverick, I still feel like by the end of the year she could be in the rankings top 10 of the flyweight division, especially since it's not too deep, and we all had her tout. A lot of people had her highly touted as like a girl who could be a title contender in the not too far future, and I still think that's the case with her.
Nah, I agree with that 100%. If anything, I think that with Miranda Maverick, that how do I say it? She's just like it's just be consistent throughout the year.
Yep, I agree.
Throughout the year, that's gonna help you out.
It's crazy. She's only 24 too, Miranda Maverick, so she's still young.
Still young, still growing as an athlete, still growing as an MMA, as a martial artist too. So that of course, it definitely gonna help that she just stays active. Don't let that last setback be a deterrent for what's happening with what's to come. As long as she stays active and gets those fights, because I trust and believe. I think if she runs into Macy Barber again, that time it ain't gonna be no indecision. She's not gonna leave it up to the judges.
She won't. I agree with you there. Yep. Anything else on this card?
Not really for me. I'm not seeing any fight on the card, but all in all, the main card and everything on here, this looks very good. I'm excited for this. I'm interested in this one.
Yeah, I am too. This looks definitely to be a good card. UFC did a good job. I will give them. They did a good job with this card. I'm looking forward to it. Saturday, 7 p.m. the main card starts. 7 p.m. and 5 p.m. for what? The prelims or 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
4 p.m. the prelims. Gotcha. All right, on ESPN Plus. And yep, ESPN Plus.
Yep, on ESPN Plus. So then you guys watch that, and then as the main card is about to run down and finish, you can get right into
Bellator.
Bellator on Showtime. Actually, you can start off on YouTube for the preliminaries and get right into the Showtime event. That's probably going to happen at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right around there.
Right. Yep. Definitely. And yeah, looking forward to this weekend. This weekend's got a lot of good fights, like really good fights in both promotions. Like it's exciting to watch. You love mixed martial arts.
Yeah. Both of these
cards. All three. That's right. UFC Friday. That's right.
You gotta tune in. I can't forget that. Have to tune in. Eagle FC Friday, 6 p.m. Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez. Because those two, they're both guys that this fight is I think it's gonna pay off dividends for those two if they both perform very well.
And also Ray Borg against Ricky Bandejas. It's very intriguing. I actually want to see that fight.
Most definitely.
Really badly. Yep, and yeah, definitely. And yeah, before we go, I just want to talk briefly about the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I know we sometimes talk wrestling here, and that's the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was in Orlando this past Sunday, which I went with my brother. Which hopefully soon I will make a video. Like an edit videos. I record some videos of the event. And hopefully I'll try to edit together and try to upload to the channel hopefully soon. And just so you guys can see, but it's to see itself. But it was an awesome event. If you love pro wrestling, this show was for you. And you see my thumbs. I give it a thumbs up. I mean, the opening match of the pay-per-view with Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. I mean, Jericho's still pretty damn good, even at his age of 51. Eddie Kingston's over big time, and it was a very good physical match. The crowd was into it. I was into it. And that match was phenomenal. And the tag team title match between Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the Young Bucks. I missed that one because I had to go use the bathroom, and I was hungry, so I waited in line for food. And unfortunately, it was a good match too. My brother was telling me, which I'm not surprised. Like, dang, I missed that match. Shoot, that was a good one. My dad's saying that was a good one, which not surprised. Usually, say which one of the Young Bucks, but pay-per-views they tend to deliver. They tend to deliver on pay-per-views, and anyway, and yeah. There was another match. Oh, the ladder match. I mean, that was a good ladder match. Even though you had three big guys, which is not your typical ladder match. Usually, ladder matches you want high flyers and guys like that. But they had three bigger guys, and they actually made it for a unique ladder match. And it worked though. It worked at the end because Wardlow really showed through. And Wardlow, who those of you who've been watching, he's definitely a guy who looked like could be a future world champion in AEW for the next year or two. And now he wins a shot at TNT title. And then, so yeah, that was a good ladder match. I mean, there was one spot that I'm trying to remember that was. No, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. But yeah, good ladder match, unique. I'll give him. That was a very good match. Then the Ty Conte Jay Cargo match. It was okay match. It wasn't anything special. I mean, it had moments in the match that were good, but nothing too special. About the biggest Jay Cargo fan myself, but. It was okay. And then after that, the dog collar match between MJF and CM Punk, phenomenal. I mean, excellent match. I mean, you knew it was gonna deliver with these two. You just knew those two. I mean, it was violent, bloody. Both guys bladed. And I like the MJF trolled the crowd by coming out of CM Punk's music at first, tricking the crowd thinking Punk was gonna come out, but he came out. I mean, that was hilarious. MJF, best heel in wrestling by far. My favorite meal. But the match was awesome, and especially the end where Wardlow turned on MJF and didn't help MJF win, but instead gave the Dynamite ring to Punk to help Punk win the match and basically screw MJF. That was awesome. What a great physical match. I mean, it was a great dog collar match, definitely. And then after that, I believe it was the women's title match. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Very good match. I mean, definitely, especially the second. Despite the interference at the end, I know some people got annoyed at that. At the end, all the interferences helped with Britt Baker stable, but it was a good match. Those two women always have good matches together. Can never, usually it's rare for them to have a bad match together. Me personally, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. And also, at the Jon Moxley Bryan Danielson match, it delivered like I expected to. I think that might have been my favorite match of the whole night. Moxley and Danielson, formerly of Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan WWE. They deliver a very good physical match. I like how they countered the suicide dive into like a brawl part. So that was kind of cool. And then the finish was very unique with Bryan Danielson having I forget what submission, but Moxley reversed it to a pin. And it was like shocking out of nowhere that everyone was shocked. I mean, I was shocked by that. It was a great finish, and then having William Regal come out of nowhere at the end as like the peacemaker between the two of them, considering his history of both guys, was kind of cool because Regal was not expected. I didn't expect to see William Regal, and hopefully they do like a weird alliance with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. That's the Bryan Danielson tease. That would be a good match. That would be a cool alliance. And then the tornado tag, the 6-man tornado tag, blood was chaotic as AF. Chaotic. I mean, my man, that was between Sting, Darby Allin, and Timmy Guevara defeating Matt Hardy, Andrade El Idolo, and Isaiah Cassidy. I mean, there's one spot in this match there's two spots actually I still think about. That is Sammy Guevara's Spanish freaking fly off the stage onto the table. It was on like the ramp on Isaiah Cassidy. Holy extra man.
That sounds crazy.
It is crazy, bro. That could have been so disastrous. Yeah, they pull it off, but that landing had to suck though. Even with the tables breaking the fall, that still had to suck. That was, I mean. I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm flustered. You hear me flustered? I mean, that's so crazy it was.
Oh my god.
And then Sting, freaking Sting. This man at 62 years old decides to do a splash from like the seats, like the upper deck of the arena, onto Andrade through the tables. At 62 freaking years old. I know there was two tables. Andrade was on one though, but still, this man's 60 freaking 2. He didn't have to do that. Sting's already beloved. He's a legend. People still love him anyway. For Sting to do that, that was a holy ass moment. Everyone was like shocked to see Sting of all people doing that.
I mean, but at the same time, like it's he loves his job. It's not a job to him. He loves it.
He does.
He loves it.
He does. He does. I don't. Yeah, and then the match. Yeah, and then Darby Allin getting the victory. Darby Allin, big fan of Darby Allin. Darby Allin's always cool and unique to watch. I like watching Darby Allin wrestle. Definitely great. Like I said, it was chaotic. It delivered in terms of tornado. It was definitely chaotic. And the main event between Hangman Page and Adam Cole, very good main event. Very good. I mean, especially it picked up at the second half. I thought, especially the second half of the match, I thought it picked up where really both guys really, were really showcasing their skills. I mean, there was a cool, moonsault turned to a super kick where I forgot Hangman was going for a moonsault, but Adam Cole counter with a super kick, which I thought was kind of a cool move. A cool counter. And then I do like the fact that how Adam Page used Adam Cole's moves against him, basically used his own finishing moves for hitting his own finishing move on Cole to beat him. Definitely was a pretty cool way to end the show. Overall, probably the best AEW pay-per-view they've ever done. Arguably, might have been the best one that they've ever done. Especially being the crowd was electric. It was a fun atmosphere. It was a great show. I mean, there was just great matches, and especially different styles. And I mean, it was just phenomenal. I mean, I'll give it an 8.5, 9 out of 10. I mean, great card. It was awesome to watch. If you like pro wrestling, that's this card that was definitely a show for you. Had great moments, and just, I mean, give credit to AEW for coming. Just awesome show. And I do find, and also the main event, I find it kind of funny how both guys' names are Adam. There were a lot of Adam chants, like "Let's go Adam," "Adam sucks." and fight for Adam. I mean, it was fun. They were doing like a bunch of wrestling chants with Adam in it because their both names are Adam. Kind of like funny. But yeah, overall good show, great show. I enjoyed it. That's my little. Like I said, there will be a video, like a vlog style, like showing like my like the video I recorded of the show, coming on the channel hopefully soon.
Okay. All right, that sounds dope, man. But all in all, it's just as long as the fans had a great experience, and it was sounds like it was very much for the fans, and everyone in the building enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So with that being said, my last thoughts for the show, man. Coming up, we got some very interesting MMA cards coming out this Friday and this Saturday. I'm here for it all. I'm here to watch every bit of blood drop, sweat drop, punch thrown, leg kicks, everything. I'm here for it all. So thank you guys so much for joining us, man. I love the support, and we'll be back here next week to break down everything that happened.
Yep, definitely, and definitely can't wait to see the shows on Friday and Saturday. Break it down, watch it, enjoy it, and then break it down for you guys. It should be a really excellent weekend of fights, all different promotions. So definitely, I'm excited. Can't wait. Quote Bart Scott from the Jets.
Can't wait.
Well, that wraps it up.
That wraps it up. If anything else, Austin, you got any last words? That's it?
No, that's it.
All right, so then everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back here next week, as always, to break down everything violence. We here for it, man. We love it. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are